What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the 90, and I'm here with friend of the show, awesome man, as per usual, Doug. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm not doing too badly. I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday because let's be honest, I don't think anyone wants an international break until March again. Because the last international break was boring, boring, boring. But no, really thankful for you having me on again. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime. I know that there's obviously Scotland. We discussed that on your show, so I'd leave that in the description for Doug's show as well. Me and Ant are on there, so I recommend you check that out. But obviously, England and Scotland have very different international breaks and very different opinions towards that. But just coming back to Liverpool, just how are you guys finding this season? Obviously, we won the Champions League 2 years ago, with winning the Premier League 2 years ago as well. It was always going to look a bit down. So how have you found it?
It's been a very weird season so far. I think you have to say that once you're champions, everyone's going to be gunning for you, and I think that's what's happened. You've seen from this season already that 7-2 against Aston Villa was an absolute freak result. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen again. You've also seen like Tottenham beat Man United 6-1. You've seen West Ham beating you guys 3-0. I think without crowds, it's made it for a very interesting season. How is our form at the moment? Up and down, I think it's have to say. I think Champions League form's better than Premier League form. I'll say that now. But we are grinding out results, which is it's good to see it. That is something that you can say that the champions do is grind out results. But we've not been that convincing. We haven't even kept the lead at half time before as well this season. So it makes it all interesting for Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that there's Liverpool I think they've been all pretty good this season, to be honest, so far. But I think the slipping away of the top six, especially for the likes of us, the likes of Wolves, the likes of Everton, we have to give a shout out to Aston Villa and Southampton as well, because they've just been absolutely brilliant at the moment. But just kind of back to Liverpool, obviously, we're going to get on to something that I'm very happy about and glad about. Your injury shopping list. So there seems to be a plethora of people that are injured at the moment. So what is the current list?
Oh my goodness. Let me go through it. Like Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, wow. Keita, I suppose you could say Keita, Reece Williams. Apparently Nathaniel Phillips might be out as well. So yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But then again, you guys have had lots of injuries as well. And this is the thing that you've obviously seen from the Sky Premier League page, is that they're focusing on our injuries. Focus on both teams' injuries. Focus on both teams' injuries. We may have had so many injuries, but you guys have had a lot of injuries as well. So I hate the fact that they're actually focusing on our injuries more than they are your ones, because to be honest, you've had a lot of injuries so far this season as well. But yeah, our injuries are just second to none right now. So yeah, fingers crossed nobody else gets injured. And yeah, Jordan Henderson is the latest one to go down. Thanks, Gareth Southgate. Thank you very much for playing him in a needless game against Belgium.
Especially since we knew that we were pretty much going to lose going into that game. But however, yeah, that's good to obviously hear that you guys aren't doing well from a selfish point of view. But it's something that we've had to go through, and you'll see that we've had Ricardo out since March. He's been the equivalent of a massive player that has gone out and then had to be fed back into the squad. So it'll be a similar thing to I forgot his name, Van Dijk as well. So he'll come back eventually. But hopefully with this squad as well, we've got Castagna coming back. We've got Ricardo that he'll probably make the bench just to kind of see how that goes as well. And then Under will be fit as well. So compared to our squad, we've had a lot of players like Mendy, Maddison, Jamie Vardy, Harvey Barnes. These people haven't gone on international duty. Christian Fuchs is another one. So normally from a Liverpool perspective, because majority of your squad go on international duty, how much do you think that's going to have an impact coming into this game?
I think you'll be the more fresher team, in all honesty. And I was surprised Maddison and Barnes didn't get in the England squad, to be honest. I think they've been very, very good this season. So I was very surprised that Southgate didn't pick them. But then again, he picks his favourites. But all I can say is I do think you'll be the fresher team. I know there's a few players from Leicester have been on international duty. Suyuncu and Under, I think, played for Turkey as well. Schmeichel's been away for Denmark and was concussed as well, but I believe he will make this game as well. Or you would have had to rely on Danny Ward, which would have been very interesting as well. But yeah, I do think you'll be the more fresher team. I think we've had quite a lot of players out on international duty as well. And but the thing is with this international break, I didn't think it needed to be happening. I just don't think international football should be happening throughout a pandemic.
Yeah, it makes no sense to really have it, especially with you look at around Europe, in America, for example, cases are on the rise, and you've seen multiple teams like, I think, well, Belgium had an outbreak before we started the season. Brazil had an outbreak during this season as well. I think a couple of other teams have as well, and it's annoying. And it's like it's not the right idea, and especially with friendlies. I mean, nobody's really competing for anything, and also Nations Cup, you're not really winning anything, so nobody really takes it too seriously. So I think that the way that we're going at the moment is a bit stupid. I think we mentioned on your show we've not got one till March, so thank God for that. The fact that we've not got anything there. Yeah, exactly. That we're gonna have to play. So anyway, back to club football. I think this is the time that I think Liverpool as well, since you've won the Premier League, since you won the Champions League. So is this the time for you to go and get the FA Cup this season and get all three one each season?
I didn't even think of that, actually. That's actually a very good point. Klopp doesn't take the cup seriously. I think the thing is now that the fact that there's no FA Cup replays, I think that's massive. But in all honesty, I'm a traditionalist with the FA Cup. I do like a replay, especially if it's like a non-league club or something like that. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I think the FA Cup again, there's going to be two. Like, I don't see the fact that you have to play 3 international games a week. I just think that's way, way too much on the players. And before long, I think you're going to get potentially more. There's going to be more injuries. I mean, injuries are part and parcel of football. And you know what? It's our time to acknowledge the fact that we've got loads of injuries. You guys have had loads of injuries. I look at Manchester City last season. How big a miss Laporte was as well. You look at how poor City were defensively as well. So again, more games as well. It's going to be a long season. They have to get this season done by May as well, because you've got the Euros coming up next year as well. You've got the World Cup coming up in 2022. So they're not going to have a break. It's going to take a lot out on the players for sure.
For sure. And it's going to be, especially for the top players as well, you have a look at the Championship, you look at, say, for example, a team even like West Brom, a few of their players will have rest, and it'll actually benefit them more than it will benefit a top team, or even a team like ours where you've got players that are coming into that top layer and international level as well. So it is tough. But just coming back to the Liverpool game as well, I don't think we've won at Anfield since 2000. I think I was looking at the stats when I was on the Copite at Football Channel when they were talking about 3rd of May 2000, I think, since we last won at Anfield. Is it the same colossal stadium as it always was? I know the crowd has made a massive difference, but you still seem to be keeping results at your place.
We haven't been beaten at Anfield since the 23rd of April 2017, so it's going back 3 years almost, which is absolutely magnificent run. So, I mean, you look at it, and Liverpool, not many teams get anything from there. I think Burnley were the only team last season to get something from Anfield last season. So, yeah, I think Anfield has now become a bit of a fortress, you could say again. But yeah, not having the crowd is a big, massive downer, I think, on it. But I think the thing is with all of us now is that we are playing well. It's just that we start games slowly, and then we seem to lose. We seem to go in at half time, maybe either a goal down or something like that. We haven't kept the lead all season, so that is going to be really, really interesting. But no, the fact that we're unbeaten in 3 years at Anfield, again, that's something for people gunning at us as well. Trying to end our long unbeaten run at Anfield as well. So, but if there's any team capable of doing it, it is you guys, because the away victories that you've had all this season already, Arsenal away, and we have to talk about Manchester City. That was absolutely magnificent. The 5-2 win. I have to say, I really enjoyed watching that as a neutral. It was a fantastic game of football, and Leicester thoroughly deserved to win 5-2 that day. So if anyone is capable of doing it, it's you guys.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it seems like Brendan Rodgers got his tactics sorted this year. Obviously, some of that we have in common, obviously Danny Ward being one of them and the other one being Brendan Rodgers as a kind of bigger level. So when he was at Liverpool, I remember you coming on our show when we drew to Brighton 0-0, and we had you on and we said, the wheels are falling off. I don't know why. And you said this is exactly the same thing that happened in 2013-14. And we all just went, oh, let's not hope that's true. And the same thing happened. But again, there's a lot of similarities between that in the way that you started the season, the way that we started the season. And also the expectation wasn't there. The expectation wasn't to finish in the top 4. The expectation was this challenge for Europe. So I think it's a very interesting way that he failed at Liverpool and that he failed to get Champions League. However, at the beginning of the season, he didn't seem to do it. I think this year feels slightly different. Since you've seen him, and how do you think he's changed his philosophy? Because there is a lot of similarities still, but Brendan Rodgers seems to have changed the team from an outsider perspective. And obviously you knowing the inside of it, being a Liverpool fan, how do you think he's changed over the years?
I think he's more a pragmatic manager. I think when he was Liverpool manager, I think he was more of an attacking manager. But when he went to Celtic, there were similarities between his stay at Swansea and his stay at Celtic. I think he was very, very attacking at Celtic, but he was quite defensive at times in Europe as well. So I think, I still think he's a great manager. I really, really do. I think he was let go too soon, in my opinion, at Liverpool. I think he was I think maybe the move to Liverpool came a little bit too soon for him, because I think looking at him at Leicester, yes, I know we can all talk about, last season, the collapse almost. But the thing is that you did run out of steam. But this season, I think he's actually worked out. He never used to have a plan B, in my opinion. I think now he's got a plan B for Leicester City, and I think with having European football, that is a big, big plus as well. And you've been absolutely magnificent in Europe as well. So I think he has now become more of a pragmatic manager in defending leads. I think he's done really, really well so far this season. I think he's only going to get better.
I'm hoping so as well, obviously from a biased perspective, but he seems to have turned it around in a really short amount of time. Obviously, from the way we ended, we brought in 3 signings and we got rid of quite a few of kind of the deadwood that was around the club as well. We brought in Slimani, which is an interesting one. So the fact that you said we've got no plan B, we've got Iheanacho in plan B, and in the Premier League, we have Slimani, who's not played, I think, he played the Aston Villa game, but he's not played in 1,009 games. Basically, we couldn't get him out on loan. We couldn't sell him. Yeah, it was a long, long time. So from that, there might be a plan B to kind of stick him on the last half an hour and get his head on it. However, we're not really utilising him that well, and he's not in the Europa League squad because they didn't trust him, and they'd rather use that for another player. But yeah, so there might be a plan B. Last season, that was one of the biggest complaints, but the issue is when you've got somebody like Jamie Vardy, it's really hard to replace a plan B structure with Jamie Vardy. So we've got competition for place and stuff, which is really useful at the moment. And I don't know if there was like that similarity between Liverpool at the time, because it kind of last year we had one formation, one way of playing. And it seems like that was kind of the same thing he did with Liverpool. And that ended up basically grinding them into the ground, and I wouldn't say even losing the league, even though you did. It was more of the expectation of where you were to where you finished, but it was still a tremendous season, and hopefully we can build on that. But I think that with with Jurgen Klopp as well, with the project that he's done, and he's kind of did the same thing with our last manager. He just kind of took you to the next level.
Yeah.
If he's a long-term replacement for you, what else do you think he's capable of with this team? Because the strength and depth you guys have got has always been great, but I think this year, with the way you've invested in certain players, especially in attacking positions, has looked absolutely brilliant.
I think you're absolutely right. I think looking at it, I think we have to say that we're probably one of the favourites for the Champions League again. I think everyone would probably say that we're one of the best teams in Europe. But yeah, I think all Klopp wants to really do is keep winning, because that's the mark of a good team, is keep on winning. I mean, if we can get another Premier League, if we can get another, if we can get another couple of Premier Leagues, maybe a League Cup, maybe an FA Cup, just like, I think the fact that Klopp was the first Liverpool manager to win the Premier League, like you'll know all about that, because obviously with Claudio Ranieri winning the Premier League, and it is nice to join that that club now, is that we've finally won the Premier League. So I don't need all the jokes about the only ship that hasn't docked to Merseyside is the Premiership. I think the thing with Klopp is he just wants to keep winning. He just wants to keep winning. I think Klopp will continue until 2024. Then we'll see what happens. But even if he does go, we've got a good replacement in Pep Linders anyway, his assistant, because he does all the pre-match. I think for the FA Cup and League Cup, I think he does it for as well. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. But if we can win more things, I'll be happy.
I mean, at the end of the day, as a football fan, that's what you want to see for your team. You want to just win trophies and stuff like that, which is really awesome to see. So coming into the match, I know you've got a load of injuries. Do you expect, being at Anfield with the team that you've got, are you still going to come at Leicester and go, right, we're going to take you toe for toe? Because you look at the Man City example, or Man City Liverpool game, where the first half was incredible, the second half was good, but it just wasn't the same energy as the second half as a neutral. Do you think it will be a case of like we'll build into the game, as you were saying, or is it just right? These guys are top of the league. We're going to have to go and beat them at their own game.
I like the fact that you said that the first half, it was absolutely magnificent as Man City was. It was fantastic. We could have been 2-3 up by then, but yeah, the second half, I think both teams have settled for a draw. So the fact that we're at home, I think we'll start on the front foot. I mean, if you guys even score, we do seem to do better when we're behind. I have noticed that actually. We do seem to do better when we're behind. So I think we need to definitely try and improve our starts to games. Let's put it that way. But I reckon we'll be on the front foot. I reckon we'll try and attack you, but I have to be wary of the fact that you guys on the counter are just blistering attack wise. You got Harvey Barnes. I suppose you got Ayoze Perez there as well, and you've got one of the best counter attacking strikers in Jamie Vardy, who is like a fine wine. He doesn't grow with age, so he's fantastic, and he's got a great record against Liverpool as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game, but I have to be wary of you guys on the counter for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the way we're going to set up. We're going to set up similarly to the way Man City were and the way that we played football there. Because there's definitely going to be some similarities there. And you guys aren't going to slow down and give us possession. That's going to be for sure. If we can survive the initial bombardment, which since I can remember under Jurgen Klopp, that's always been the case. In the first 15, 20 minutes, you've scored, or you've been there, or there's been offside goals, or there's been something like that, where you just hit us. And with our back three of Johnny Evans, Wesley Fofana, and Christian Fuchs, which probably will be most likely, we're going to have to do some defending in there. But do you know what, mate? I'm really looking forward to this game. It's been a while, but this is probably the most confident I've been as a Leicester fan going to Anfield in quite a while.
I think so, especially with injuries, and yeah, the fact that we don't have the crowd either. But I'm just hoping that VAR does not intervene in this game. I really, really do, because VAR has just been awful all season. It really, really has.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've had it go our way a few times. We've had it go against us, but some of the decisions you're like, this is just getting stupid now. Like the Bamford handball was just like
Oh,
absolutely outrageous that was given offside, because just ridiculous, to be honest. But hopefully that they sort it out. Recently, I'm going to be honest, like the Wolves game, there were a couple of decisions where they were overturned and they used VAR the right way,
yeah,
which is good. Which is good to see. But at the same time, there is still a lot of sour taste for the amount of results that have gone away. And I think last season it came down to the point where literally it stopped Aston Villa getting relegated. That
yeah,
close it was. So if you're going
yeah.
to cost teams like £100 million, they're going to come after you if that's not going to be the correct decision. But yeah, mate, I'm really looking forward to it. What do you think Jurgen Klopp's tactics will be coming into this game?
I think probably we'll need to start a lot better. I think that's another thing you can say. Um, I mean, depending on what he's got at his disposal, I think you'll see probably the team that will probably be. Well, my team would be Alisson Becker, Nico Williams, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is out, so it'll be Nico Williams, Joe Matip, Fabinho, Andy Robertson. I know he's been injured, but he did play 90 minutes for Scotland. Then I'm going to go for two in midfield. I'm going to go Thiago, because he is back, and Gini Wijnaldum. Pity Jordan Henderson is not fit. And then I'm actually going to say Mane in the middle, and then to the left, Jota. Jota's been fantastic. 7 goals in 10 games. Fantastic signing for us. And then I'm going to go Shaqiri. That might come a bit of a surprise to people, but Shaqiri's actually played really well since he's. I think he's more. I think he's actually a player who's actually got back into the good books of Klopp, because he was on the way out. He was definitely on the way out in the summer. So I think that was a good thing. And up front is Bobby Firmino, and I know that Bobby Firmino loves a goal against Leicester as well, but he hasn't been himself. So I think the international break probably came at the right time for him, because his form has been really, really up and down this season. So, but yeah, that would be the team I would go with.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think we'll set up in a 4-3-3 to kind of counteract that. And I think there's definitely going to be a lot of good stuff that's going to come from the game. And I'm hoping for a 4-3 win. What do you think the result would be from your perspective?
I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go a bit of the same of last season. But this time I'm going to say you guys score first, because again, we can't keep a lead at halftime. So I'm gonna say Vardy will score for you guys, and then I'm actually gonna go with Jota, and I'm gonna go Mane to get the winner.
That sounds really good. Hopefully, best of luck, Doug, for the game coming up. And I know you're coming on post match as well, so I really look forward to seeing you. Obviously, we'll see who's the winner after that game and the tactics around then. But yeah, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the Dugout Football channel. You can find me on Twitter at enrod_1992. Actually, Twitter looks really weird right now. Stories on Twitter. Are we actually turning Twitter into like Instagram or Snapchat? Give me a
Pretty
break.
much.
You can find me on Instagram at Douglas.Horn, and you can also find me at Facebook at Douglas James Horn. But no, thank you very much for having me on, Neil, and I look forward to seeing you on post-match.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting as well. So make sure to tune into our post-match. Thank you once again, Doug. I'll leave his link in the description so you can go subscribe and follow him as possible. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see everybody after the game. So from me, Doug, goodbye.
See you later.